Hey y'all, I am back. I am back. So once again, do me a favor. If you are watching me live, put a one in the chat. If you're watching a replay, throw a two in the chat. If you need to get in contact with me, of course, send me an inbox message or text me at 844-243-4901. I was speaking earlier with you guys, and I named the segment High Vibes. So this is High Vibes 2. And I just wanted to finish talking about what I was talking about, or just continue it because when it comes to high vibrations and keeping positive mindsets, that's something I could talk about all day, every day. So I'm just gonna well first do a little recap of what I was speaking about earlier, then I'm gonna continue from there. All right. So earlier when I talked about success, so success requires replacement. Elevation requires separation. Sometimes you gotta get away from things. No, all the time I should say. You gotta get away from things and people that can potentially bring you down. Like people had a propensity to be negative. Is for whatever reason is natural for most people. Um, I don't know if it's easier to think negative. I'm not 100% sure. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. And thank you to everybody who's joining right now. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. And I was saying earlier, please always keep your spirit in mind. We are constantly in spiritual warfare. I couldn't speak for a week. I caught a little cold, and after this little cold, I would cough so bad and so hard and so much that it kind of messed up my vocal cords. And I was like fighting a case of laryngitis. I couldn't speak for a week, and y'all know I love speaking to y'all, and I speak for a living. I got the majority of my voice back, but not all of it. It's still not all there. I could tell. So if y'all hear me clearing my throat a lot, that's why. But just to do the recap with success requires replacement. The recap is, replace alcohol with water, replace overthinking with action, replace blame with responsibility, replace complaining with gratitude, replace television with sleep or a good book. How about that? Or even an audio book. Um, and so next is fake influencers with inspiring creators. It's people when we say fake influencers, we're just talking about people out here. They famous for whatever reason, but they might not be speaking about anything positive. So when you are consuming, especially like on social media, because we consume a lot when it comes to social media. Make sure you are paying attention and listening to somebody who's spewing positivity, who's inspiring you to elevate your mind, who's inspiring you to, be a better person and helping others and being more for yourself, thinking outside of the box, getting out of just what things of that nature, a bunch of positive stuff that's going to enhance and increase your life and other people's lives, not just the craziness that the stuff we hear like with in musical lyrics. And no, it's not just with rap music, just to let y'all know. There's a lot of other depressing music out there. But make sure when you're on YouTube and watching these reels and TikTok and all that, Facebook, Instagram, make sure you're actually paying attention to people who are speaking about elevation. And there's a whole lot of things we could talk about elevation. And like me myself, I'm in financial literacy, education, and financial services. So I listen to a lot of influencers who speak about financial literacy. Um, also listen to things, but people that they are speaking about positive mindsets, because mindset is very important. That's 80 to 90% of the game is mindset. So, because you got your mind right, get your spirit right, get your heart right, your hands will be right. You know what I mean? So that is Very important. You got to be careful what you put into your mind and what you put into your body. And I'm going to speak about that in a minute too, about what you're putting into your body. Another thing is replace I can't with I can. That goes without saying. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. And another thing is replace blame with responsibility and accountability. And sometimes it could be difficult to have accountability even for yourself. Don't blame others for what's going on in your life, because as long as you healthy enough, you can always change it. We know things not always going to go as we want it to, but things can be changed. And take accountability, because you got to first recognize what's going on. Self-awareness is everything. It's so much. But if you can't even identify it first, how are you going to change it? That's just like somebody who's like an alcoholic or a drug addict. They have to first identify that they have a problem. I mean, if you using and depending on substances every day, you got people say, "Well, I can quit any day, blah blah," but they never do. You need to admit first that you have a problem. Or if you are, constantly stealing or constantly lying, whatever it is, admit first that you have a problem. That pulls up your self awareness, and then take responsibility for it or accountability for it. Take accountability for your actions and things that you do, things that you say, and then you can go about fixing it, repairing relationships, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff goes into it. So just going back to what I was saying about vibrations and stuff earlier. Just you always need to keep in mind that we are always in spiritual warfare. And I do feel like that week that I couldn't speak is that I was in a spiritual warfare, because it's my duty. I know it's my duty to give education, because somebody's going to catch it. Somebody's going to use it. Somebody is, no matter if they tell me or not, or if I know them or not. Somebody's going to use it. Whatever the stuff that I put out there and on social media, things that I put out in the atmosphere, all that stuff, somebody's going to use it. And for a whole week, I wasn't able to do that. So I just, that was just the enemy attacking. At the end of the day, me not being able to educate folks, um, because my goal is always to give somebody education, and also for people to learn from my mistakes so they don't have to make the same mistakes, and to give them information that they didn't get. My goal is to teach you something. Even if you take one thing out of all these days that I come online and speak about whatever I'm speaking about, and y'all know I mostly speak about financial literacy, mainly with credit, personal credit, business credit. My goal is that you take something from it and do something positive with it, so you don't make the same mistakes or avoid making a mistake, something like that. So like I said, to me, for that whole week, it's just spiritual warfare. And that we're always in. And think you just keep your vibrations high, because we are spirits, because we're spiritual beings, we're vibrational beings, all that good stuff. Keep your vibrations high. And it's a lot of ways to do that. I don't think people understand, really truly understand. They underestimate um how much we do battle a lot. And so there's ways to help keep your vibrations high, and they are already mentioned in some of the things I already mentioned, as far as like alcohol, what you drinking, what you're eating, being around toxic people, toxic relationships, all that stuff. Like a lot of people, you rather be in a toxic codependent relationship just to say you with somebody and not being alone. Like, listen, there's nothing wrong with being alone and then working on yourself some, and then go start dating again. Like, but you rather be in a toxic relationship rather than being by yourself. But some people rather be with somebody else so they don't have to deal with themselves. Like if you in that situation, you never really looked at yourself in the mirror properly. So, with those type of things being said, show me some thank you. Show me some love, show me some love. But yeah. So I already said give gratitude, acts of kindness, even something as simple as letting somebody go in front of you while when you driving, something like that. That's an act of kindness. It is in my opinion. Um, Forgiveness. Now, forgiveness, as y'all know, it always forgive with just it begins with yourself. Like we all gonna make mistakes and there's stuff we gonna do. You like, what? I wish I hadn't done that. That's why you always had to think things through, and and act on things instead of reacting. Because a lot of times when you're reacting out of emotion. That's why you gotta sit back and count. You gotta count to 50 or something like that. Because a lot of times things not even as big as people make it. I'm gonna tell you, when I worked in social services, I used to have to go up on to the prisons and do evaluations for people that need treatment. For people, and the program I used to work for is for people that was coming. They come out of prison early in order to go to drug and alcohol and mental health treatment. So I used to go up on the county, the city's prison system and do these evaluations with folk. And I remember I was just talking to a guy, and there somebody's interviewing it, and he was just saying, majority of people are in here because the emotional decisions they made. And something else he said most of the men in here are in here over a woman. And I'm pretty sure we can decipher what that means. It could mean a few things, but all in all, it goes back to acting out of emotion rather and being reactive instead of active or proactive. So sit there, think about what you're doing before you do it. And when you are on a higher vibrations, when you work on yourself to reach a higher level of vibration, those type of things come to you more easily than it was when you're not. Like, cause when you're doing things like drinking and smoking and stuff like that, taking self-medicating, stuff like that, your brain is not clear, is foggy, where you can't make good decisions. Well, ways to make better decisions and to help elevate your frequencies as far as your vibrations and stuff is to continue to just work on yourself that way and replacing those type of substances. You can replace substances with exercise and because there's all these different addictions and stuff out here. It could be drug, alcohol, food, sex, all those type of things. But working on yourself to elevate yourself, you can help overcome those things as well. Then there's treatments, and I tell people all the time because we got people in not me working in social services. I also have a master's in psychology, and I do come from a culture where people don't want to go to therapy, and people always saying, "Well, yeah, I'm going to God for this." That's 100% fine. Go to God for it. Go to God for everything. But I need you to also understand that God invented therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists and all that good stuff. There's nothing wrong with getting professional help, period. But go to God and pray, do what you need to do to your creator and your higher power, yes. But seek professional help. That's what they are there for. Therapists and counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, they are there to help you. Now I say to some people, they need not only do they need, go to their higher power, they need therapy. Because a lot of us need therapy. Suffering from childhood traumas, and some people those things continue to hold them back. And I've been like this my whole life and this and that. No, you holding yourself by not dealing with those traumas. You're holding yourself back. You're stagnating your progress and your growth. I mean, it's people out here in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, or they'll go to their grave still holding on to childhood trauma and grudges. That's not healthy for anybody. So um, let's say continuously work on those vibrations, man, and your frequencies. And one of the best ways to do it is to get around people who on the same wavelength as you. Period. Because you can be around toxic people, toxic relationships, people who are your quote unquote friends. Sometimes you gotta separate yourself. If you ever heard of the saying, elevation requires separation, it really does. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mm. You have to get from around people who aren't doing anything with their lives. It's not good for anybody. If you trying to change up your life and for the better, you can't be around people that's doing the same old stuff. Period. So that's pretty much that's what I got for now. I can finish this talk later. Probably tomorrow. I'll come to y'all talk some more about vibes and all that good stuff, y'all. Cause I'm really big on mindset. Thank you for listening. Thank you for those of you who joined. Thank you for those of you who sent me love and all that good stuff. It's very important that you work on yourself daily. And if you don't have a whole lot of time to read books and all that good stuff, a good way to start is to actually listen to audiobooks. They're really good to use. Okay, so you guys, y'all have a good night. I'm saying sayonara for now.